If you're the type of person that loves movies, especially 4K and Blu-ray discs, and you love a guy that's just talking about how passionate he is about all the new movies that he got, then you guys should stick around in this video because I think you're going to enjoy it. How we doing, my fellow film fans? This is Let's Be Real with Brad. Today on the channel, I want to talk to you guys about all of the 4K and Blu-ray pickups that I got in the month of December and January of this year. So let's just get right to it. So the first movie that I want to talk about is the original 1966 Batman the movie on Blu-ray. This is a feature film based on the Batman television show that starred Adam West that was in the 1960s. And this movie is exactly the show, but just has a bigger budget and probably even goofier because this movie is extremely enjoyable and tons of fun. And I do have a review of this movie on my social media because I'm going to be watching and posting small reviews of all the Batman movies. And I just had to watch this one for the first time, and I can't wait to watch it again in the future. The next movie I want to talk about is The Suicide Squad on 4K. This is a movie that I saw twice in theaters, and I enjoyed it every single time I watched it, and I got it as a Christmas gift, so that is an awesome thing because this 4K is pretty expensive right now, but it is totally worth it because it includes the IMAX scenes, Dolby Atmos, and it just has a fantastic 4K picture, and this is a movie you need to get in your collection. Next movie I want to talk about is the 2013's Evil Dead. This is a remake of the original Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies, and this is a movie that I have not seen yet, but I've heard is pretty good, so I bought it for a few bucks because the new Evil Dead movie called Evil Dead Rise will be on HBO Max at some point this year, probably in October, so I need to watch every single Evil Dead movie, and this is one of the ones that I had not seen, and I hope it is good as my money's worth for it. The next movie I want to talk about is a Christmas classic that I just need to have in my collection, and that is Home Alone on 4K. This is a wonderful and fantastic Christmas family film that everybody loves, and I'm super excited to have the 4K edition of this because Fox went in and remastered this whole movie before they were bought by Disney, and it looks fantastic. And this is a movie that everyone just needs to have in their collection or at least seen once in their lifetime because, well, it's amazing. The next film I want to talk about is a masterpiece that is directed by the legend Stanley Kubrick, and that is Doctor Strangelove, or How I Stopped Worrying and Loved the Bomb. I think that's what it's called. This movie is truly fantastic, and with this magnificent 4K, it is truly a spectacle, and I absolutely need to rewatch this movie again, considering that Stanley Kubrick is a master, and I feel like I would enjoy this movie so much more on a rewatch. So if you can get your hands on this for a great deal, it is 100% need to be in your collection. The next movie I want to talk about is another masterpiece by one of my favorite directors of all time, Quentin Tarantino, and that is the 4K of Inglourious Basterds. I know a lot of people have been very divisive on this release, but I put this movie in and I thought it looked great. I'm no 4K expert. I did a lot of my research for this particular release, and it was for $9.99. I sold my Blu-ray, and I felt like this was the best quality possible, and I love this movie so much, so I just need to have it in my collection. And for $9.99, the next movie I want to talk about won Best Picture in 1961, and that is West Side Story. This is the 50th anniversary edition, so it has 3 discs on here. It has a ton of special features, a brand new restoration, and it looks marvelous on my TV. And I just had to get this movie because I need to watch it for the first time because it is so influential. It won Best Picture and all these other awards before the new West Side Story came out last year, directed by Steven Spielberg, which I ended up enjoying a lot more than this one, and I still love this movie quite a bit. So if you haven't seen this movie and you are a fan of musicals, you better get to it because this is a definition of a classic. Next movie I want to talk about is literally one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's definitely going to be in my top 10, and that is Scream on 4K. This is the original slasher film that changed the horror genre in the 90s, and I absolutely adore this film. I even double dipped and watched a 4K restoration of this movie in theaters and then bought this on 4K because it looks so good at the theater. It looks so good on my TV, and it's a movie that I just want to support because it is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and it's amazing. And especially being able to go back and watch this before the new Scream movie came out last week, I think it is a must-have to have. Yeah, that's what I meant. The next movie I want to talk about is a horror film that I need to have in my collection to finish off my favorite horror franchise of all time, and that is Scream 4 on Blu-ray. I'm surprised that I didn't have this movie for such a long time, and I realized I need to pick it up and I need to rewatch it before the new one came out, and this is a really good movie and is definitely better than Scream 3, so if you enjoy Scream as much as I do, you gotta get it. The next movie that I want to talk about is the brand new 4K restoration of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This is a terrific, amazing, hilarious movie that I think everyone needs to have in their collection because this movie is so good, and I've been waiting for a 4K restoration because this movie just looks absolutely stunning on 4K with mixing a lot of the 2D animation and the live action moments in the movie, and it's so great that Disney's being able to release a lot of their catalog titles into 4K, and it seems like there was a lot of effort that went into this disc in particular. The next movie I wanted to talk about is another Batman movie, and that is the Lego Batman movie on 4K. This is a movie that I never had in my collection, and I actually saw it in the theater when it came out, and I think this movie is really underrated because it is genuinely a great movie. The next movie I want to talk about is a Martin Scorsese film that is one of my favorites that he has made in his filmography, and that is the 4K restoration of The Wolf on Wall Street. This is a movie that I got from my family for Christmas, so shout out to them because they also bought me the Blu-ray a couple years ago when I wanted that. So it's really nice to see an upgrade for this movie, and I'm super excited to watch it again because seeing this movie in 4K when Scorsese shoots his movies on film, which they're going to look better, and this movie is extremely colorful and super vibrant. The next movie I want to talk about is a masterpiece and one of the most influential films of all time, and that is the classic Sergio Leone, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on 4K from Kino Lorber. This is a 4K disc that I've been wanting for such a long time because Kino Lorber has been doing a ton of 4K discs in the past couple years, and they have had such high quality content, especially with this one having such great reviews, and hearing that this is the best it has ever looked and cleaning this movie up a lot, even changing a lot of the color grading for better or worse. But being able to have this movie on a great sale that it was at, I needed to have this in my collection because this movie is truly fantastic. This 4K collection I got is one that I've wanted for a while, but only because it would just make me feel like I need to start all the shows and all the movies, and that is a mega franchise I haven't dabbled with all that much, and that is Star Trek with the 4-movie 4K collection. I am disappointed that doesn't have all the other movies on 4K. It does seem like a cash grab considering that some of the other movies are going to be on 4K later this year, but in any case, I got this at a really good sale, so that's all that matters. I hope to watch the original series, the animated series, these movies, the other shows. I really want to be a Trekkie and just understand why Star Trek is beloved by so many, and I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing so far, and there's so many different shows and movies at this point, so I can't wait to compare them all and enjoy them for what they are. This upcoming 4K collection is one that I have needed for some time now, and it was one that I had on DVD growing up, and I absolutely loved it, and I needed these 4Ks because I've heard that they're excellent transfers, and that is the Batman 4K movie collection of the original series. This collection is absolutely fantastic. There's a ton of special features, their own little boxes inside them. I actually took one of them out because I'm watching one of them right now, and they have excellent transfers. Like another 4K box set that I was able to pick up that you guys have already seen the thumbnail and I know you guys want me to talk about, and that is the Game of Thrones 4K collection. I have been wanting this for a while. This thing was so expensive. It has all seasons 1 through 8, has a ton of special features. It has that 4K HDR10, and it has the Dolby Atmos. This is definitely going to be better than anything HBO Max has. And for someone who's literally never watched the series at all and just wants to dive into it, watch everything this thing has before the new House of Dragon show comes on HBO Max at some point this year, I need to get this. Supporting physical media. We are here for the final 4K movie that I was able to pick up in the last 2 months. And you guys are probably wondering, why wasn't Game of Thrones the last one that was in the video? Like, that seemed like it was a pretty big deal. But if you guys know me and you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you should suspect that this movie had to be last, and that is No Time to Die on 4K. I absolutely love this film so much. I was able to see this movie in IMAX for an early advanced screening, and then was able to see it in the theater a second time a couple weeks later. So having this on 4K, which is considered one of the best 4Ks out right now with Dolby Atmos, perfect quality, amazing special features. I just had to get this movie, and my family got it for me as a Christmas gift. So I'm really thankful, and being able to add this to my final collection of all the James Bond Eon series movies just means so much to me. Okay guys, so I lied to you all when I said that No Time to Die was my last 4K movie I picked up, because I was looking on the ground at all the ones I got, and I didn't talk about probably the biggest one that I didn't even put in the thumbnail because it's so big and it's so awesome and amazing. And I wish I got the first volume, and that is the Columbia Classics Volume 2. This has fantastic movies with it. It has this cool back that, you know, it's kind of fallen off at this point. This thing is amazing. I got it for such a great price with a great coupon that was on Amazon. So I got it for like $75, which is insane. This 4K set is absolutely fantastic. It has got Anatomy of a Murder, Stripes, Oliver, Sense and Sensibility, The Social Network, and Taxi Driver, and it has a massive booklet with it. They're even their own little discs with it as well. If I could try to open it for you guys, it has their own little discs in here. I felt like a real physical media collector when I got this. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and I want to know down below in the comments section, what are some of the Blu-ray and 4K pickups that you guys got in the past 2 months, and what are some of your favorite picks that I was able to get as well? I would love to hear about it. But before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you want to, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in the following video.